When you're doing everything right, praying, staying faithful, doing all those things, and you feel like God isn't noticing you or He isn't seeing what you're going through or you don't hear Him, I want you to know He really is. I have an awesome story that happened to my husband and I that helped us know for sure that God sees us and He's there and He's waiting and willing to help. So when we were first married, we lived in Florida, and John was going to school and I was working, and there was a month that came up that we just weren't able to cover all of our expenses. It just the money coming in was not equaling the money that needed to go out, and our rent in particular, we still needed. I think it was around $350 to cover all the rent, and we kind of didn't know what we were going to do. But we had been praying and just trying to stay faithful and sit in the trusting spirit, I guess, to know like, okay, we've told God this, we've done all we can do. We're going to just see if it works. So we put it in His hands. And one night we didn't have a washer dryer in our apartment. So we had got our laundry and we were walking to the laundry facilities that was in our apartment complex. And it was late at night, it was dark. And we were walking along the path to the laundry, and kind of in the gutter, John saw just kind of like a wad of trash. And he's going to make things nice and pick things up wherever he's at. So he just reached down and grabbed the wad of paper and put it in his pocket so we could throw it away when we got to the laundry room. And we get there, we're doing our stuff, we get that all in, and we go back upstairs to our apartment. And he remembered he had that trash, so he pulled it out. And it wasn't just paper, it was a wad of money, of bills. And he was like, oh my gosh. So he counts it, and it was about $400. It was like just enough to cover our rent. And we were like, oh my gosh, what's going on? But, we didn't think immediately, okay, this is exactly what we need. It's going to cover our rent. Like, we knew we needed to turn it in to the office because that was someone's money, and they were, I'm sure, wanting to find that money. So we took it in. The next day we went to the apartment complex office, and John let him know that he found this money and where it was at and all of that, and he gave it to them so that whoever lost it could go in and get that. And so the apartment complex, thanked us for bringing it in. They're like, hey, you know what? In 2 weeks, if this isn't claimed, it can just go back to you. Like we don't keep it for longer than that. And so we were kind of like, oh, okay. And 2 weeks later, they called us and they're like, hey, nobody has come to claim that money, so it is yours. And it happened. Like, God can show up in every way. He can help us in any way possible. He could have given us the money for our rent in so many different ways, but that's the way that He did it. And I feel like trusting Him and knowing that He can see us, He's got our back. He knows that what we're going through, and then trusting that it's going to happen in some way that we may not know exactly how, but we can trust that we will be supported. There's no way I could have said, okay, well, trusting God, I know He's going to give us this wad of money that we're going to find late at night. Like I would have never thought that that's how it happened. But that's how this particular thing happened. And there are countless other times in our lives that God has come through for us in a way that I had no idea that that's how it was going to work out, but it always works out. And I know that as we trust Him and talk to Him, ask Him, Heavenly Father, this is what I need, and then have faith. Faith is so pivotal to getting, not just getting what we want, but it's pivotal to trusting Heavenly Father and trusting in our lives, and doing that and not doubting is a skill and is something that's going to help us and benefit us for the rest of our lives.